Yo, it is good YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the best cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM here on this list. I was only able to include about 58 cards on this list. That is the maximum file size that TierMaker would have let me upload. So I apologize for the cards that are not included. Additionally, no 100 overalls are included on this list. Sure, they pretty much would all be S tier, and a couple of them might be A tier, but that's about the lowest any of them would be. That's about all I need to say about 100 overalls. Nobody has them anyway, so do we really care about them not being on this list? In my personal opinion, not really. I thought leaving off 100 overalls to include other cards that more people might have was a smarter idea than including them and having to take off more cards, considering I'm already a little restricted. I mean, 58 is a lot of cards for sure, but it's not quite as many as I'd like. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. We be putting in work, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. I'm going to try to go through these cards pretty quickly because, again, I got over 50 of them. So, Adam Morrison, incredible, but I will say his upper is not amazing. It really still screws with the card in a lot of areas, and it prevents him from being as good as he could have been. His jump shot upper just isn't the best, but he's an elite level card. I still don't think he's S tier, though. That's an honest truth. Caruso's a stud. Really, really good. 50, he's A or B. Like, I understand he's only a pink diamond, but he's so good defensively. He's 6'5", he's an elite slasher. He actually shoots the ball at a high level as well, has decent sigs. Card's a stud and does a lot of things well. I think he's B. I'm not there. I don't think he's quite Adam Morrison level, but he's like legitimately a borderline top 5 point guard in the game, even including the gambling cards. That's how much I like that Caruso, and I'm not even trolling. Allen Houston's an absolute budget stud or free stud as well, to be honest. I truly believe. I mean, this is such. Here's the thing about this list. This is an incredibly good list. Almost every single card in this list is absolutely elite. And honestly, there's not a single card in this list that I would consider a bad card. Every single card in this list is usable competitively, which means putting guys in lower tiers is going to be challenging. And a guy like Allen Houston, who is an elite level card, really can shoot the ball well, defend well, slash well, does a ton of things well, plays in an insanely stacked position with a bunch of cards that are better than him. And to me, I feel like that means he's got to go C tier in order to keep the list from being excessively top heavy. He's one of the worst cards at his position on this list, despite being a very good card. He very much is a very good card. But I think at best he's like B or C. I'm going to give him B. I will give him B. I think he's too good to be C. But I still think, like, I don't know. Şengün is A. I'm not quite going S for him, but he's an absolute stud. I mean, he's one of the best free cards in the game, legitimately. You'll notice there's a lot of gambling-only cards in this list, and I apologize for that, but there's only so much I can do. Şengün's a great card, though. I mean, he really does everything well. He shoots the ball well, can put the ball on the floor at a high level, pretty good size, versatile defender, good dunker. Everything good. He's really, really good. Iggy is... Here's the thing. This is such a strong list. This is... I mean, we can only have about 10, 11, 12 guys in the S tier max, and this is such a deep, strong list. I got to put really good cards in lower tiers, and like Andre Iguodala, I love this card. Pro 2 fade, great animations. Really do like the release as well, to be honest. Defensively top tier. I think he's about as good as Adam Morrison. I honestly think they're relatively similar. I mean, Morrison has slightly better sigs. Release-wise, I'd say they're semi-similar. Iggy's an incredible defender, but Morrison's pretty good as well. I think they're both A. Really good cards. Andrew Wiggins is a better card than Allen Houston, but not by a ton. Houston is a better shot creator, in my opinion, but Wiggins is 6'7", versatile defensively, super athletic, really, really good card. One of the better free shooting guards in the game, for sure. Austin Reeves, don't think he's S tier, but I also think he's A. He's very good. He's pretty decently sized at PG. 6'5", isn't tiny. He's a pretty good defender, but offensively is really, really shines, especially his release and his fade. He is like the next evolution of Devin Booker, basically a better Devin Booker. He's an absolutely amazing card. Definitely A tier. Brandon Miller. I think he's A as well, honestly. He's 6'9" at shooting guard with super fast release. That's so good. I know his sigs aren't the best, but they're not terrible. And he's a phenomenal card. It's just this list is so deep. It's going to be so tough to rank these cards, man. Because where does a guy like B. Roy go? I legitimately think he's like amazing, but he's also like maybe the third best shooting guard in the game, arguably even fourth because Carmelo just came out. Like, how many guys can I really have in the S tier? For me, I think Brandon Roy has to go A because his escape isn't that good. And he's only 6'6". He's an amazing card, but there are a couple flaws, and best of the best cards in the game, there are at least 2 shooting guards that I like over him, and I honestly think maybe a third as well. That's the honest truth. I like the card a lot, but I'm going A. Cade is S. He's the best point guard in the game for sure in my mind. I think he really is that good. Incredible sigs, amazing release, elite size, just an amazing all-around card. Definitely S tier. Carmelo. I'm going S with him as well. 6'7", the best defensive Carmelo we've ever had. Very big player build at shooting guard. He's phenomenal, and he deserves to be in the S tier, I think. I think that's pretty fair. I think Chet's probably A. This is going to be such a hard... Dude, this is going to be such a top-heavy list. Oh, my gosh. The problem with this type of list is it really is the best cards of the game, and it becomes so hard. This is going to be a top-heavy list. I'm sorry, but I just can't put Chet out lower than A. Like, I think I can move Brandon Miller down to B, because he doesn't have the best SIGs. That's going to be the nitpick with him that moves him down. But Chet is A. He's 7'1", incredible defensively, super log, incredible stats and badges, doesn't have the best playmaking animations. That's about the only nitpick. He's really good. Christian Laettner's a really good free card. I haven't actually gotten to use this card yet, but I'd love to do gameplay with him soon. By the way, if you have Christian Laettner yet or will be getting him soon, feel free to DM me on Twitter. I'd love to do a gameplay with the card. But either way, I think he's super solid. He's a B tier, really solid stretch big. He's a versatile defender. Pretty darn good card. Just obviously the best list in the game can only go B tier. Danny Ferry definitely goes S. I think he's better than Melo. I think he was the second best card from yesterday's drop, and the best card is Magic Johnson, who isn't on this list. So Ferry's insane. They've somehow managed to replicate his 2K21 release as well, which just phenomenal job in that aspect by 2K. I'm not going to lie. The card's amazing. I wish I could get him, but gambling only really sucks, unfortunately. But he's still an insane card. He's still S tier. Does D-Rob get an S tier spot because of guys like Kareem not being on this list? That is such a debatable question, and the answer is actually going to be yes, I think. There are at least two bigs definitely better than him, but I think he's probably my third favorite big on this list just because of how big he is, how great of a shooter he is, and how much stuff he does well on the court. I know he's not the best playmaker in the world, but he's 7'1" and insanely versatile defensively. Really, really good card. I think DeMarcus Cousins is a slightly worse version of a guy like Alperen Sengun, and I guess that means he's B tier. He's 6'10", really good across the board, but I do think only B tier at the same time. I'm putting Rodman in C because his release is a little slow. He does have Jamal Murray behind the back. He's the best. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. He's got every defensive Hall of Fame badge in the game. He's got Jamal Murray behind the back. The release isn't bad. He's got Kyrie dribble style. I'd be lying if I put him C tier. He's an awesome card. Dino Raja, I'm also can't put him C tier. I understand his stats aren't quite on the level of the other guys on B tier, but he's got a 7'11" wingspan and great animations. Super easy release. Really, really good big. One of the very few non-gambling bigs in the game that I think can compete with the top gambling bigs on my team. Finally get to a C tier card that I think I can argue. And well, here's the thing. D-Wade versus Caruso. Do I really think D-Wade is worse than Caruso? Probably not, but I really like Caruso. And I really like Wade. Wade's release is so mid, though. But honestly, Caruso's not that much better. The thing about Wade is he doesn't have a movable enforcer. I am kind of... The more I think and use this Wade, I think he's C. His release isn't that great. He's only 6'4", and he doesn't have a movable enforcer. I don't know. That seems fair. Dicey Daniels is going to go C as well. As good as he is, he doesn't have great SIGs at PG. I like Caruso a lot better. I definitely would go C tier with him as well. That seems fair. 6'10" at shooting guard. Franz Wagner is also really, really good. He's a super athletic card. He's a decent defender, and he's got a pretty solid release with Off Limitless. At the same time, shot creation-wise, he is not on the level of the guys above him. And again, this is one of the strongest, deepest lists that I have literally ever made on my channel. So I think C tier with him is also fair. Gonna go B, A with Gerald Wall. A is honestly tough with him. The thing about him is he better than a Brandon Miller? Defensively, he is, but as an overall card, I don't really think so, and not significantly enough defensively. I think Brandon Miller's better offensively. Gerald Wallace just isn't all that good of a shot creator. He's a solid shooter and a great slasher, and then an absolutely elite level defender, obviously. But I think B is probably fair. I don't hate that. Speaking of, dude, Giannis is such a tough one to me because everybody loves Giannis, and I like Giannis, but like, I guess I'm going to have a guy like Akeem in the S tier, spoiler alert, so I guess I'll go Giannis in A. I think he's similar to Chet. Honestly, his release is not that much worse than Chet's as well, so I like Giannis. He's a good card. His SIGs are not insane. His release is not insane, but he is one of the best slashers and defenders in the entire game. He's a phenomenal card, and he is an A tier guy. Grant Hill is also an A-tier guy. He's a 6'8" shooting guard who's very complete badge-wise. He's missing one or two badges, which are basically, I think, Immovable Enforcer is pretty much the only semi-important badge anyway that he's missing. It is a pretty important badge, but I still think, like, probably A-tier because he's 6'8" with great SIGs, Kyrie dribble style, incredible badges all the way around. Really good card. Hakeem is S tier, yes, 100%. Absolutely phenomenal card. I think he's one of the better ones in the game, legitimately, at the point guard or at the center position. He's probably outside of Wembanyama and then the 100 overalls who aren't on this list. Well, I guess Kareem especially. He is my favorite big in the game. I think he's insane at power forward, insane at center, elite release, defends his butt off, does everything that you need a card to do at a super high level. He's a phenomenal top tier option. Harden is great, but he doesn't play defense the way that the guys above him do, and I just need defense. And as much as he's great offensively, it's not enough in my mind for me to justify the card personally as anything higher than C tier at this point, because his defense isn't that elite level. And to me, that matter. I say that, but Reeves is an A tier, and is he really 2 tiers below Reeves? That feels so crazy to say. But at the same time, I honestly don't totally hate it. I don't think either, because I actually like Reeves more offensively than Harden as well. Some people are gonna strongly disagree with that take in the comments, I'm sure, but I'm gonna leave it because I kind of like it, honestly. I don't hate that take. If Rodman is B, so is Worthy. Worthy is a better shooting, similar defensive, and worse playmaking card than Rodman. Rodman has better dribble style, better behind the back. Worthy has a better release, better height, similar defensive stats. Rodman's batters are better. They're both really good. I think they're both B tier. I think that's really totally fair. Jason Tatum. This list, I have to have a couple guys in D tier, which means I have to be super strict. And Jason Tatum's fade is awful. He has a very good release, but he plays a position in which that is not an uncommon thing at all. He is not elite in size at small forward. He does not shot create at a great level at all. He has very mediocre SIGs. I think in terms of this list, he's one of the very worst cards on it, and he's going to go D tier, as is this Joel Embiid, who has a release that I do not like and cannot dribble the ball at all. He's one of the very few cards on this list that cannot play make at all, really. I think he is also 100% D tier. I love Hondo. He's really solid. Amazing shot creator, really good release. Definitely a top tier offensive card. Defensively, not quite, but definitely good enough to still go B tier. I mean, on paper, defensively, he's insane. It's just he's a little small and only 6'5" at shooting guard, but the card is absolutely phenomenal on the offensive end, and that does at least give him B tier. I'm going to go Wall in D tier as well. I think, unfortunately, well, I say that. He's similar defensively to a D-Wade, not that far off at least. I don't know. I think C tier is probably fair for John Wall. He's actually a really good card. He moves super nicely. He has a really fast release. I like John Wall. I think he's pretty good. KD, man. You got to go D tier. I'm sorry. Slow release in my mind. It's just not a good release. He's 6'10" at small forward. Yeah, but he's not an insane defender. Doesn't get great animations. I don't know. He's not that good. I mean, he's not bad at all. He really is a good card. I know, but I feel like D tier is probably fair. Kevin Love. I guess we'll go C tier with K-Love, but I really want to put him B tier. The problem is he's only 6'8". He's just really small at power forward. He actually is a really good card in a lot of areas and like very usable still. Here's the thing. Literally every single card on this list is still usable at a competitive level, even the D tier guys. That's the problem with doing a best cards list in a game that has 9 million cards that are all about the same level, which is one thing that I will say this game. Again, there's a reason that I think this game would be poppin' if the gambling-only content didn't exist. This content is so sick. If this wasn't all gambling-only cards or mostly gambling-only cards, the amount of variety and options that you have at every single position right now is actually phenomenal. And unfortunately, you can't really use it right now. But Clay, I think, is legitimately worse than Allen Houston and Andrew Wiggins and John Havlicek, and I don't care. People are going to be annoyed at me for how low I am on Clay, but I don't think he shots creates well, and I honestly don't love his fade either. I'm just not that big of a fan of the card. I've never been that high on Clay this year, specifically in my team, and I just don't think he's that good. Kobe's S tier, obviously. I love the card. I don't have Pink Diamond Kobe on this list because, again, limited on the amount of cards that I could put on it, so I didn't put 2 Kobe's, but Pink Diamond Kobe would also be S tier simply because I just love Kobe, and I think the Kobe cards play better than any other card in the game for me. I don't know why. He's just the best. His movement is insane. His release is insane. His fade is absolutely phenomenal. Everything is basically perfect on Kobe. He's so easy to use and so phenomenal. I'm putting KP in C tier, and I'm not feeling bad about it. He's too slow. He's not too slow, but he's too slow to be higher than C tier. The card is still very usable, but I do think the speed holds him back at least a little bit. Lamar Odom is a 6'10" power forward with a smooth, easy release, but I will say his movement is a bit disappointing. Leaves a little bit to be desired. The card is still very solid, but I think B tier is probably pretty fair. By the way, I apologize for this video. We're already over 14 minutes, and we got another almost 20 cards. Well, actually, I think we got about 20 cards to go, so we're going to be here for a minute. LeBron James, I think still A. I may or may not have quick sold my LeBron James to lock in a set and pulled Brandon Miller, who is worse than LeBron. So Did that make me want to cry? Yes, it did. Do I regret it? Yes, I do. LeBron is still one of the best small forwards of the game, and while he's not S tier, he's one of my favorite players in the world and one of my favorite players of all time as well. So the fact that I quick sold him and then didn't get a player that I wanted to return, really wanted Danny Ferry or Hansbrough or somebody like that, but unfortunately I didn't get them. And that is disappointing, but he is definitely A tier. Lonzo's getting an S tier spot. He's the other point guard in an S tier. He and Cade Cunningham, and I think that is totally fair as well, to be honest. He is amazing defensively. 6'6", really nice release, great fade. Pro 2 fade with a great upper is just super easy. I love the card, and I think he and Cade are kind of a little bit above everybody else at the point guard position right now, in my personal opinion. Michael Beasley is an amazing catch and shoot shooter and a pretty athletic card. That is literally it, though, and when you compare him to the best cards in the game, which is what this list is he C? Yeah, he's probably C. I'll give him C. I'm not going to have many D tiers at all. I mean, I literally have like 1 or 2 more D tiers on this list, and that's it. But, oh well, that's okay. These are the best cards in the game. MPJ 6'10", he's basically Beasley, similar shooting-wise as Beasley. A very good release, big, elite shooter. He's not as athletic as Beasley, but he's a little more complete statistically and badge-wise. Very solid card. Definitely, I think, C tier as well. Moses Malone is actually very good. I don't know if I would quite go A tier, but I'm damn close. Like I think he's probably B. He's more DeMarcus Cousins level than he is probably like in Şengün or Chet. I like the card though. He has 94 speed, which is really nice. He's an incredibly versatile defender, and if you do upgrade his shooting badges and improve him in those areas, he's really, really good as a shooter as well. I think DeMarcus Cousins is basically a slightly better Miles Turner. So Miles Turner, while still very good, is a little lower in the C tier for sure, or B tier, I should say, for sure. He's a very good card, still very usable even at a competitive level. I think he and Dino are probably pretty similar level guys. Dino's bigger. Miles has better stats and badges. They're both very solid cards, though. Honestly, kind of similar releases as well. Nikola Jokic. I think he's better than the guys in D tier, but he's better than enough to not be in D tier himself. The honest truth is, no, I don't think so, because I want to have at least 5 D tier guys. There's only one other guy on this list that I think is D tier, so I'm going to put Jokic in D tier as well, because I think he's worse than all the other guys in C tier. John Wall stands out to me as one that feels a little like I could move him down to D tier as well, but I love his release. Jokic, that's not the case. So, you know what? I'm putting Jokic D tier, and I think we're going to leave it like that. I like this Siakam card. I think he's slept on. He's a 6'8" small forward with a very fast release. It's not the prettiest release, but it's very quick. And he's a great defender who puts the ball on the floor pretty well. Pretty good SIGs, and actually very solid SIGs, legitimately. And then actually very complete badge-wise. He's super solid. His animations might not be the best, but I think he's at least B tier. He's slept on. Pau Gasol is the last D tier guy. He's basically just Jokic and Embiid rewritten. Like, I don't like him that much. I just don't. He doesn't do anything special to me at all. On the court, I think he's just very mediocre. He's not bad. He's very usable. He's just not great, and he's just nothing special at all about the card. Penny Hardaway is honestly kind of a bleh card to me as well, to be honest. But compare him to like Alex Caruso. I'm taking Caruso. I think Harden and Penny being in the same tier feels fair to me. SIGs are pretty good on Penny. Defensively, he's solid but not insane. No immovable. Release is not next level great. He's very complete stat and badge-wise. He's a very solid card, but I think C tier is probably fair, to be completely honest. I really like Rafe LaFrentz as a shooter, but I think he's a teensy bit small compared to a guy like Dino. Has a better release than Dino and better shooting badges, but I would say he's a little less complete, although he is a pretty good finisher and a pretty good defender as well. This card is borderline B tier to me. He is definitely one of the better pink diamond cards in the game, without a doubt, but I still think I'm going to go C tier for him. Ron Artest is S tier. This card is legitimately my second favorite shooting guard in the game. He's better than Kobe. He's absolutely incredible. The only card better than him, in my opinion, at the shooting guard position isn't on this list, and that's 100 overall T-Mac. I love Ron Artest. He is absolutely phenomenal across the board. The card is an unbelievable release as well. He is just a dog. Rudy Gay is the best offensive small forward in the game, pretty much. Maybe not quite, but he's damn close. His release is phenomenal. He has great SIGs. And honestly, I really like the card a lot. The only thing about him is he's not the best defender in the world. That's the thing that puts him a little lower on the list. Is B tier that low? I don't know. This list is so tough, man. It is tough to rank these cards because all these guys are so good. So I apologize if y'all don't agree with my tiers, but I'm going Penny in C tier as well. I know. Shea, I should say. I don't think defensively he's that great. Like, he and Penny are kind of similar cards. Penny's actually got better SIGs. Shea has slightly better animations, like release-wise, I think. Maybe fade-wise. They're both really good, but again, I would actually take the defense, the immovable forcer of Alex Caruso over either one. So I think C tier is fair. Shane Battier is a great 3 and D, but that's a about it. I mean, he's basically Gerald Wallace 2.0. They're very similar cards, honestly. Neither of them very good shot creators. Both of them a lot of size at shooting guard, super athletic with very good releases. I would say they're pretty much the same card, and you can put them both B tier and kind of leave it. Sean Marion goes A to me. He is borderline S. Do we have any more? We got a couple more guys that can go S. I'm putting Sean Marion A tier. I think that's fair. I really like the card, but I will say the release, as quick as it is, and that's the thing that's really good about the release. You have to get used to his release, but when you do, it's one of the actually smoother and quicker releases in the game. I do understand it's ugly, though, so I guess if that holds him back a little bit, that's okay. He's still a really, really good card, in my opinion, and I think he does a lot of things well, small forward, really good defender as well, so I think he's A tier for sure. Tyler Hansbrough. This card is S tier. This Psycho T card is crazy. I know he's only 6'9". His SIGs are insane as his release. As is his release, I should say. He is like the best animation card at the power forward position in the game, and it's not even close. He is a phenomenal, phenomenal card, and I am legitimately excited to try him out and see how good he is in my team, because I think he's got the potential to be really, really, really freaking good. So yeah, excited to. I wish I could get him, man, because he is phenomenal. Would love to add him to my team, but unfortunately I can't. Tyrese Thomas, do you also go S tier? I think you do. I think you do. Tyrese Thomas, 6'9", small forward, insane defender, super athletic, but also top-tier animations, elite level release, one of the best park releases in the game, that Ben Shepherd base. Only an 83 ball, but definitely with some upgraded shooting stats and baddest. He's one of my favorite cards in the game. I think he goes S tier as well. Tyson Chandler is insane defensively, but without I mean, I've boosted my Tyson Chandler with Hoff badges for sure. He's just not as complete as a shooter of a playmaker, or a playmaker, I should say, as the guys above him. At the same time, with extra badges, you could definitely make the argument that he's B tier, and I think he's a really good card. I think he plays center super well. I lied. He's good enough for me to be B tier. I love Tyson Chandler. I think the card's phenomenal. I'm putting him B tier, and I'm sticking to it. Wemby is going to go S tier as well. Obviously, Wemby is the best card in the game. In my mind, at least, he's ridiculous. He's honestly OP in a lot of ways. The card is stupid OP, to be completely honest. He really is. And then you have Wilt. Wilt is, I think, A. As good as he is, I'm taking Akeem, I'm taking D-Rob, and I'm taking Wemby, me personally. Wilt's release just isn't that great. He's 8-foot wingspan, insane defensively, I know. He's a phenomenal card, but I think he's A tier, and I think that's fair. That's going to do it for this list. Let me know what y'all think of my list in the comment section down below. I know there's only 5 guys in the D tier, but I think that's fair. Would be interested to hear y'all's thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you did enjoy the video, if you enjoy the longer video at 22 minutes, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.